our Education Roundtable this evening. Welcome to the city of North Olmsted and North Olmsted Middle School. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Terry Groden, and I am a school board member here in North Olmsted. This roundtable discussion tonight is going to be focused on funding issues that we are all going to be facing in light of the upcoming biennium budget. Just want to give you a little bit of background on why we're here this evening. Last year, the Board of Education here in North Olmsted passed a resolution asking our state lawmakers to stop trying to impose underfunded and unfunded mandates at this time because of the difficult financial situation that I think every district is in. When that resolution passed, I reached out to other school districts and asked if they would support that resolution as well. At that time, I heard back from Dan Langshaw with the North Royalton Board of Education. While there was not a lot of discussion really focused or zeroed in on that resolution about unfunded mandates, one thing that Mr. Langshaw and I did agree on was that because these times are so different now, and because the financial situation is so tight these days, we believed that it would be a good idea to try and get all of the school districts in this region in the 24th Senate District together so that we could try to present a unified voice because we felt that we were all facing the same challenges. So this dialogue tonight is so that we can have a constructive conversation and people who are working for school districts in the 24th Senate District in Northeast Ohio can get a sense for what's coming. What are the challenges that lie ahead for us? What are the best guesses as far as how we are going to be impacted in the next biennium budget? It's also a way for us to be able to present from a number of different school districts. I think we have 15 represented here this evening. A way for us to let some people know what our challenges are and what we think is important, what we really hope for, look for, and need as we move forward. I do want to, I guess, make a couple of disclaimers here before we get started. First of all, this is not an attempt to overhaul the funding mechanism for public education in Ohio. That as you know, has been a discussion for a long, long time. And I think maybe in this discussion tonight, it may be in the background. It may be something that will be part of the discussion and probably will be part of our discussion for time to come. But we're not really trying to change that here tonight. We're trying to find out what we're going to be dealing with in the short term. I also want to let you know that this is primarily a working session for school district personnel, for school board members who are here tonight, and for administrators in the school districts that are represented. We certainly appreciate people who are here from public and people who are here from the media. If we have time, we'll see if we can work some questions in from people who are here from the public. But really, we're trying to, this is really, as I say, a working session for the school district personnel. I think that really takes care of my opening remarks. So at this time, I'm going to turn the microphone over to a gentleman who has been instrumental in organizing this event tonight, Mr. Dan Langshaw from North Royalton.
Well, first I want to thank Terry. Terry and I would be have been working on organizing this roundtable for the last several months. It almost seems like years, especially dealing with our crazy Northeast Ohio weather. But it's great that we're finally here tonight. I must say, just looking in the crowd, it's so positive to see so many school districts that are participating and our very diverse panel of experts tonight. There's so much at stake with education, and it's vital that we work together and moving forward. Tonight's roundtable is just, as Terry said, this is just the start of the conversation. There's so much going on in our state, especially with the upcoming budget, and Ohio faces many challenges ahead, but education is one area I believe most of you, especially those of us that are in the education community, education is one of those areas which can be a solution to helping getting Ohioans back to work. Real quick, I'd just like to recognize, last count I had was over 14 different school districts that are here from the Ohio 24 Center District. We have school board members, superintendents, treasurers, administrators, and key stakeholders tonight. And I just want to recognize those districts real quick. We have North Olmsted, North Royalton, Cuyahoga Heights, Solon, Bay Village, Berea, Brecksville, Robbie Heights, Chagrin Falls, Independence, Mayfield, Olmsted Falls, Orange, Rocky River, Strongsville, Westlake, and is there any districts I'm forgetting? If I am, just yell out your district. Okay. I also would like to recognize, we have a few special guests. I'd like to recognize Cuyahoga County Councilman Dave Greenspan for District 1. Thank you for coming. I was also informed we have Representative Anelski. She's on her way from Columbus, and she's on her way to come tonight, so I'm happy to have her here. And any other elected officials that are here tonight, thank you for coming. It's now my honor to introduce Cuyahoga Heights School Board Member Reno Contipelli, who's tonight's roundtable organizer, and he will introduce the panel and explain a little bit more about tonight's format. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Reno Contipelli. Been a board member for about 18 years, and I've been active in the legislative process for probably about 15 of those through the Ohio School Board Association. So what I'm going to do is have the panel just quickly introduce yourselves and your expertise in the field, and then I'll start with Michelle.
I think Reno's picking on me because he's one of my members. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Francis. I am a lobbyist for the Ohio School Boards Association. I have been with OSBA for 7 years now. Prior to coming to OSBA, I actually worked on Capitol Hill in DC for the House Ways and Means Committee. But over the years, I've thoroughly enjoyed working for the Ohio School Boards Association. Both of my parents were teachers when I was growing up, so it's always nice at the end of the day to work for public education. You know, a lot of times when you tell people, oh, you're a lobbyist, they start to look at you and they're like, oh, you're one of those people. And it's like, no, at the end of the day, I know we're working for a good cause and we're working for good people and we're working for the children of the state of Ohio. And that's what makes it most rewarding.
Hi, I'm Tim Pickana. I am the CFO for Solon City Schools. I am also a certified public accountant. Prior to arriving at Solon, I was also the CFO at Canton City Schools, so I feel as though I have a decent cross-section between the large urban as well as the suburban districts in Ohio. Prior to becoming the CFO at a school district, for a number of years I've worked with the Ohio Auditor State's Office and reviewed various governmental entities' financial structure across the, primarily the southeastern part of the state. We have a big year ahead of us, and there's plenty for us to discuss, and thank you for having us.
Hi, I'm Zach Schiller. I'm Research Director at Policy Matters Ohio, which is a research institute here in Cleveland. We also have an office in Columbus, and we do research on state policy issues of a whole broad range, including the state budget. And I think some of the other people here have a greater awareness of some of the school issues than I do, but I focus especially on looking at the overall budget and at the revenues that support it. Just by way of background, I actually spent most of my career as a journalist, much of that for Business Week magazine, so I have some knowledge about business, but hopefully I can talk a little bit about the revenue and budget side.
My name is Tony Podojil. I'm currently the Executive Director for the Alliance for High Quality Schools, of which many of the districts in here are members of. Prior to that, I was Superintendent of the West Geauga Local Schools for the last 13 years. And like Michelle, I have my lobby card. I just don't show it to too many people. I'm not sure if the bus was going to run us over, so we didn't do that. I'm not sure I picked the right time to start in Columbus because this is not a normal time down at the State House, so I'm certainly getting my feet wet in doing that. So yeah, I would agree with Tim. We have certainly have a challenge in front of us, and it's not just the budget. When the legislators and the governor said everything was on the table, I'm here to tell you folks, everything is on the table. So there's a lot to talk about.
Good evening. My name is Tom Ash. I'm the Director of Governmental Relations for the Buckeye Association of School Administrators. I've held that position now for about 5.5 years. Prior to that, I was a school superintendent in 2 different locations for 21 years, and I have all the scars to show for it. It is kind of interesting. It's an exciting time in the legislature, but it's an exciting time to do what I do. I want you to know that school board members are my heroes. You work for basically nothing for what you do. But I've developed a whole new set of heroes, and those are legislators, some with whom I agree and some with whom I disagree. But they are passionate, they are hardworking, and they are diligent in what they do and committed to the state of Ohio. So it's exciting to work with them as well. Look forward to your questions that you may have this evening and to a greater and more prosperous Ohio.
Hello, I'm Nan Baker. I am the state representative representing this District 16, which includes North Olmsted, Fairview Park, Bay Village, Westlake, and Rocky River. So I've been legislator for, here comes my colleague, Marlene Anowski. We could put her in the hot seat too. She probably will end up here in a minute. But I represent this district. Marlene represents the Strongsville, and she has a whole list. She has many more cities than I do, although our population is the same. As was said, this is a very challenging time, and I know most of you are here to hear about the impact on education. But as a state legislator, we're looking at the entire picture. Our budget needs to be balanced by the end of June, and that includes not just education, but Medicaid, hospitals, nursing homes, food banks, prisons, schools, of course. All of it is on the table. Some of it used to be in the past. You can't touch that, and you can only perhaps try to reform some of the 15% of the budget that is what we used to call discretionary. Now those that we never used to have to touch before, we have to look at. We are facing over an $8 billion deficit, $8 billion, plus another $2 billion in unemployment that we extended last year for those that ran out of their unemployment, and we didn't want to see that, that there was no work out there for them, and the only thing we could do was extend it for them. But that cost us $2,385 million plus the interest that comes due this August. So we have overwhelming challenges to look at, and I guess the emphasis I would like to make sure I leave you with is that it's the big picture of everything. We have almost a double-digit unemployment. We have hundreds of thousands of jobs that have left, and we have billions of dollars that we need to balance somehow with our state budget. And that's what our charge is by the end of June. So, I served myself on school board. I've sat in the school board seat. I understand the difficulties in passing bond issues and operating levies. It is, as was said, everyone in their lifetime should serve on school board. I really think you get an appreciation for how hard those school board members work and the amount of responsibility that they have in trying to manage that school system along with their superintendent administration. I also served on city council for 9 years, so I certainly understand the local grassroots government politics. They also are looking at local government funds that will probably be less than what they've gotten in the past. Everything, like I said, is being looked at. We don't want to raise taxes. I think that's the mindset of what's there. If we were all probably collectively to say, what do we agree upon?